Good afternoon. My name is Sean O'Leary. I'm an account manager here at Real Asset Management, and I'm here to speak to you about our computerized maintenance management solution, Maintenance5000. What I'm going to do today is go through some of the standard features and how they can benefit all different parts of your team, ranging from the individuals who are going to be putting in requests, to individuals who are going to be managing the work orders, to the individuals who are going to actually close out or execute the work out in the field. Now, the first place I'll start off is within the main login screen of the system, or the administrative level. This is the area of the system where you can go ahead and manage what other people can and cannot do in the system, as well as oversee everything from the requests that come into the system to the everyday outputs that are registered as well for reporting purposes. The dashboards you see on the main screen can be set up and customized on a user-to-user level to make sure that your priority information is logged onto each screen. So as you can see here, we have our recorded fault analyses, our top 10 assets with no planned maintenance work, so where we're doing a lot of reactive work out in the field, and a number of other reports as well. Should there be other reports that you do not see on the screen that you would deem a priority, you can actually drill into the dashboard part of the solution and pick from a number of over 70 different dashboards to go ahead and either prioritize to your main screen or analyze on a day-by-day basis. All of this information is uploaded and updated in real time, so if you do want to take a look at a certain area of the recorded fault analyses, you can drill in for more detail and see that pertinent information at your convenience. The next part of the system I'll show very briefly is just a quick breakdown of the fields that we have down the left-hand side of the register. So the main fields that are going to be a priority for you and your team obviously is the equipment fields. This is where you're going to store the critical equipment for your computerized maintenance management solutions. The help desk, if you do have requesters that are logging into the system, this is where we can create a customized area for them to come in and log the specific work that they are going to need to do out in the field. Next area we have is our planned maintenance schedules, which is where we're going to automate your planned or preventative maintenance schedules within the register. And then drilling down, your help desk requests and your planned maintenance schedules, once they go live, will become work orders within the register. Scheduling of your assets or your labor workforce can both be maintained directly from the Maintenance5000 register. And we can also do a full inventory management suite for you and your team. Beyond that, some other areas of customization within the software come on a license-to-license basis, where we can set up specific configurations for specific individuals and make sure that user-defined fields are available throughout. The solution feels like a homemade system as opposed to an out-of-the-box register from elsewhere. Where I'm going to log in now is just start off from the perspective of an end user. So this could be somebody in an office, or somebody who is out in the production field who may notice something wrong with a particular piece of equipment. From here we can create what would be a help desk portal, and we can embed this into an intranet page, or you can give everybody the link so they can log in and put in the pertinent information for the help request. The first thing you'll see here is the main screen that will jump up once you log in. You'll notice that we have a username that you can fill in and some other additional pertinent information. So for the sake of argument, I'll throw in my name and I'll throw in my email address so I can make sure I get any notifications. And then from there I'll go ahead and select my piece of equipment that I'm going to do the work on. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and pick a Dodge Ram that we have. And you'll notice as soon as I select the piece of equipment that down below we've populated some other pertinent information in. The information that was populated were the other active requests that are currently out in the system against this particular piece of equipment. So if you're coming in to log in a duplicate request, we can make sure we do not bog down the crew that's going to be dispersing the work because we've noticed the request has already been created. From the moment that you submit the request, throughout its time in the system, Maintenance5000 will go ahead and create email notifications throughout the process to make sure that the requester and all other parties have been notified of the work that is being done. This is a serious client favorite because it allows everybody to, from the perspective of the requester, know exactly what is going on with the software. From the perspective of the maintenance personnel, to know where the request is, who it's been assigned to, and who is doing the work. And from the perspective of a manager, they know that everything is running seamlessly from A to Z throughout the maintenance procedures. So the next part of the system we'll go ahead and check in on is the area of a maintenance technician or a maintenance dispatcher who may receive the request. So I'm going to come in here and just put in my technician login, and we're going to jump in from there. Now this part of the system, you notice, compared to the administrative capabilities, is slightly more watered down. And this is where we've gone ahead and changed the amount of information that a specific individual can see. You're not necessarily limited to these fields. This is just one perspective or one option that we've given to show you here. You'll also notice that the dashboards are different, as they're focused specifically on the work orders that this individual is going to need to execute the work on. So we have our work order response targets and our work order completion targets. The only other fields we have are the availability to see the work requests that have come through and the work orders that are live, as well as the stock or inventory control usage that can be put to work on these particular work orders. All of these charts, as I mentioned before, are able to open up in real time as well. So if we do want to take a look, for example, at our overdue work orders, we can simply go ahead and just say, let's open this up in a new window, and it's going to pull about the pertinent information that goes along with that particular request. So now for the technician to go ahead and access the work request that has come through, they can come in and take a look by status or by date at the particular requests that are live. So as you can see here, we have a request available for our Dodge Ram that's come through, as well as a few other laptops. And from there, they can drill in, find out more pertinent information about the work order, open it up, activate it, and also change priorities, because as you know, from one person to another, a flat tire may be urgent or it may be a 24-hour job. We also give you the ability to assign specific individuals to specific jobs. So if you know you have an ace in the hole that's the best person at doing this particular work, we can make sure they're assigned to the job so it's done in an orderly and timely fashion. Once the work requests become live in the solution, they become the full-blown work orders within our work order list to choose from. From here, you can see a number of search fields that we can go ahead to find specific work orders from if you're not sure where you want to go in the pool. For example, here, we'll just type in Dodge to pull up once again all of our Dodge Ram work. And it's going to immediately show a couple of work orders that are active against this particular piece of equipment. Drilling inside in more detail, we can see exactly who has been assigned the jobs, where it is along through the procedure, estimated completion times if necessary as well. Beyond that, the additional information that you can add to the work orders ranges anywhere from the labor to specific materials to actual other costs, so anything from per diem for travel to food or mileage that went into a truck during the job. We can also do advanced features and functionality such as recording fault codes, and what these are additional parts of the system that allow us to go ahead and add in specific fault procedures so we can report later on just certain incidents and not certain pieces of equipment out in the field. So with a broken axle, we can say we've had some sort of structural issue, we've had a crack appear in this particular broken axle, and now we can go on at any point throughout our time in Maintenance5000 and just run a report on every time we've had a structural issue and this particular incident will come up. You'll also notice through the route sheet that we can add additional pieces of equipment to the work order. So what I mean by this is if you're going out to look at one particular truck and you have 20 trucks out in the field, you can go ahead and create one work order through our system to view them all by adding the additional equipment, or you could go through the hassle of creating 20 individual work orders for the checkup. So this will cut down on time and help speed things up for you out in the field. The Readings tab will allow you to go ahead and record any specific readings to the equipment, such as mileage for a truck. So we can go ahead and set preventative maintenance work based off of these mileage readings at any time. And if you have checklists for procedures, such as an OSHA safety checklist, or just a standard procedure that you want the work to be done by at all times, we can make sure that that information is logged and stored into the system for the work order. Should you want to attach any additional images to your work order, you can do this as well to help out the maintenance technician and also make sure that they're logged into the system for the lifetime of the platform. So as you can see here, we've logged a picture of the broken axle so somebody knew what tools and what parts of the kit they would need to bring out in the field with them. Once you've done all the pertinent work that goes along with this part of the solution, you can go ahead and close out your work order and move on. Now, another important thing to keep in mind is not every technician is going to have full access to Maintenance5000 at all times to do work orders through the solution. One thing to point out is we can run all of our work orders into a PDF solution and email them out so people can do the work that way, or we can use a handheld such as this Motorola MC55 to go ahead and do the work orders for you. All of these parts of the system can be intensely automated, so every single thing is procedurally locked into the system and into the solution. Now, what I mean by that is the information with the labor resources will allow you to associate a handheld device to them so you can make sure certain procedures are executed accordingly. When I come over to this PDA tab, you'll notice all the information that I can capture from a handheld work order, ranging from job acceptance to job departure, all the way through to making sure that people sign off for the work orders when they're completed out in the field. This allows for an easy couple of steps in a mobile solution to go ahead and execute these work orders and still electronically capture very specific data for reporting later on. One very important feature about this mobile expert device that we have is that this Work 5000 module will also work in an offline capability. So if somebody does go out in the field and leaves an area that has cell signal and goes into a dead zone, or goes into an area where your Wi-Fi does not reach, they will still be able to log all of the pertinent information into the system, and then when they go back into an area that has connectivity, they will then be able to go ahead and upload all of that information accordingly. This helps to make sure that you don't have to create a paper trail or try to guess later on, because all that captured data can still go out to the appropriate personnel. Now we've kind of looked at the solution from an area of somebody who is dispatching the work, requesting the work, and executing the work. Another major area of the solution is going to be the ability to see what kind of performance has been taken care of, what kind of reports do I have to view the work that is being done. The reports section is very, very technical but very easy to use, as you can narrow down your fields in an instant to make sure that you're capturing the pertinent information and viewing the information that you need to see on a company-wide basis or on a very granular level. So for example, we'll drill into a couple reports here and take a look at the data that we can get out of them. The first place we'll go ahead and look is at our overdue work orders. So from an administrative perspective, you might want to see what work is out there, what do we need to have done, what work should be done that we need to reprioritize as well. You'll notice all of the fields we have here, such as the sites and sublocations. These are all user-defined fields based off of your terminologies that we will set up in the solution. So for example, if we want to look at just one location, such as our Miami sub-offices, we can go ahead and say, let's take a look at just our island plant here, cut down everything else, and make sure we get just the pertinent information. Or we can say, let's do a wide open search and take a look at all of the overdue work orders that we have. Once we generate the report, you will notice that we now have all of our overdue work orders, when their applicable due dates are, and also who's been assigned the work if there's a specific employee who's also already assigned to do this. This report itself can still adjust in real time as well. So if you do want to go ahead and change around any of the fields of information, you can click on the drop-down boxes, alphabetize them, organize it by date, by employee, to make sure you get the right information, and then you can go ahead and PDF it, print it, or just notify the applicable personnel. Some other reports that are great in the system are just being able to analyze your specific pieces of equipment. This is something that, if you're looking at replacing equipment, if you're looking at what equipment is working best for you and your team, we can come into, we can drill into, and we can take a look at in more detail and say, how is all our equipment in our Miami office doing? Let's take a look at the job performance that we have here. So for this particular equipment performance report, what we're going to do is we're going to open it up to a couple of years so we can really analyze exactly what our equipment's been doing, in this case for over the past decade. We'll narrow it down to just one specific location, and let's say I want to take a look at the basic equipment that I have in our Miami office, and see how everything's running on the production floor, see how many work orders have been raised against certain pieces of equipment as well. Now, from a managerial perspective, we wanted to take a deeper look into any sort of overdue work orders that we had and get an analysis of just exactly what kind of work was out there. We could take a look in more detail than just finding out what jobs are out there and what personnel is going as well. So by going ahead and clicking on our overdue work analysis, we can generate an open report that allows us that extensive detail into what the job is entailing, as we now can see what priority jobs are out there that need to be done, where the jobs are coming from. So we have our help desk requests, our planned maintenance, and a few other different kind of requests that are active as well. So we can make sure that the jobs that are urgent get prioritized very highly to get done versus the jobs that have maybe a 24 or a 48-hour window. Once again, all these reports are still active and live, so if you want to pull up more information, drill into these charts, find out some more details, you can do that at any time to allow yourself to find out more information about the job. Now, we went through a reactive job just a few minutes ago, and another major part of the system is going to be the ability to plan work, to structure work out strategically over time, to try to prevent ourselves from having to do reactive work and from getting help requests from employees as well. So within our planned maintenance schedules is where we're going to customize not only the work that is going to be done on each particular job, but also how we're going to time or automate those specific procedures as well. So the planned maintenance itself is going to have a standard job behind it, which is going to be defined by you and your team. And it can be something as simple as walking down a hallway and looking and making sure there isn't a spill on the ground, to a very specific checklist that can be set up and customized once again to your terms to make sure that the procedure is done to a T exactly the way you want it done every single time. So here you can see for this particular task that we've set up just a weekly pre-operation check and all of the information that goes behind the check and what we want to be done every single time. We're hoping that with this work and with these procedures that we're going to avoid any substantial hiccups and reactive work that needs to be done at all times. Now, within the planned maintenance schedule as well, you'll notice that it's very easy to change and adjust the frequency for the job. So right now, we have this set up for a weekly frequency, and we're doing it every 2 weeks. But if we've decided for some reason we need to do this work more often, you can say, you know what, I want to do this job on a Wednesday, and I want to do it every single week, not every 3 weeks, and then make those changes. And right then and there, we've readjusted the schedule and the work orders that are going to be automated out. All of this information can work in relation to your other schedules as well. So if you have multiple planned maintenance schedules going out at the same time, we can make sure work does not overlap. We're not sending 3 technicians in at the same time, and we're not bogging down everybody working on one machine instead of multiple. Also, with the route sheet like we set up for the reactionary work, we can set this up with the planned maintenance job as well. So if you have multiple machines that need the same procedure to be done, we can send out 1 technician, knock them all out in a day, instead of sending 1 technician out to do the same job 4 different times in a week in 4 different locations. The more you automate each facility, or the more you automate all facilities, the easier everybody's job is going to be, and the more transparency you're going to have into the work and procedures that are being done. Also, the information that comes behind the equipment within the system is obviously going to be pertinent to the planned maintenance procedures that you set up in the particular register and how you go ahead and do the work. So here we'll just drill into our truck again and look at a little bit of the detail that we've put in behind it as far as what kind of information we want to be able to capture at any given time in the solution and what information we want to be able to report on based off of our user-defined fields. So now that we're in the equipment for the Dodge Ram, this is where we can add in a lot of our user-defined information for this particular piece of equipment and for all pieces of equipment that we have in the register. The location fields, the general fields, the availability fields, all of these are user-defined fields that you create and you customize within each particular system. You'll notice up in the top right-hand corner this little design hammer. I'm going to click on it very quickly, just so you can see every single place that a tiny hammer has shown up on the screen is where, assuming you have the appropriate user rights in the solution, you can go ahead and add new fields in, create new fields, re-customize the system, re-image everything, and make as many changes as you want within Maintenance 5000. This power really lets you go above and beyond a solution that's going to capture a certain amount of data for a certain amount of time for a company, and allows you to create a solution that you can grow with and you can expand with and you can customize over time, as your solution becomes more robust as you grow overall. Some additional information that comes along with these user-defined capabilities are some basic analyses fields, such as a straight line depreciation that goes along with any standard piece of equipment. But one thing I will point out here that really brings life to this particular chart is the ability to show costs incurred against the asset. So now I can see that during this asset's useful life we've incurred additional costs, which may want us to reconsider our 2015 scrap date. We've already sunk a couple thousand extra dollars into this particular piece of equipment or machinery. Maybe we want to scrap this sooner instead of incurring more costs against this particular piece. We can also take a look at all the historic costs and when they were actually incurred as well. Also, from an analysis perspective, we can take a look at some more pertinent information, such as what kind of jobs have been raised against this particular asset. As you can see, we have our planned maintenance work versus our reactive work. See where the spikes are and notice if the summer months are a little harder on a piece of equipment or the winter months are a little harder as well. We can change around the periods at any time to make it the lifetime of the asset, to make it just a couple of months. We can change it to the fault codes. So you remember that we entered faults earlier on in the solution where the crack appeared. Now we've noticed that that particular information has imported itself into this particular piece of equipment, so we can analyze the faults all over again. So I hope you've enjoyed this overview into our Maintenance 5000 solution and the capabilities that come along with it, from the requesting perspective to the maintenance work execution perspective to the managerial way you can overview or analyze all of the work that is being done. If you'd like to get more information about our system, feel free to take a look at our website or call us directly, and we'd be more than happy to answer any additional questions or concerns you may have, and also create a customized demo that will be catered to you and your team's needs within our Maintenance 5000 solution. Once again, I want to thank you all for taking the time to view this today, and I look forward to hopefully speaking to you in the near future.